Good evening, everyone. It's Monday, October 14th, 2024. This is a regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Glendora Unified School District. We are emerging from closed session and reconvening an open session at 7:03. We have two reportable items that I'd like to tell you about. Item 2.7, the Glendora Unified Board of Trustees in closed session upon a motion by Reuter, second by Merkley, and a vote of 5-0, approved a stipulated expulsion agreement for student 24-410-14. And the secondary one was item 2.8, the Glendora Unified Board of Trustees in closed session upon a motion by Merkley, seconded by Garcia, and a vote of 5 yeses, has approved a stipulation expulsion agreement for student 24-510-14. That's all the reportable action from our closed session. So in reconvening our open session, I'd like to ask for a roll call, please.
Board Member Reuter.
Present.
Board Clerk Lopez.
Here.
Board Member Merkley.
I'm here.
Vice President Garcia.
Here.
And President Clifford.
Present. Item 3.3 is a Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand, put your right hand over your heart, and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. That moves us to item 3.5, which is adoption of the current agenda. May I have a motion or any changes?
Move to adopt. I'll second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
There is no opposition. That'll move us to 3.6, which is board recognition, PTA presidents. Go right ahead, Mr. Superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board, distinguished guests. It's my honor to bring up PTA Council President Mrs. Stacy Dover to introduce all of our school site. Yeah, give it up for Stacy, for sure. Thank you, Stacy, and thank you for leading the great work of all the PTAs, and I know you're going to introduce the presidents from each of the sites tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for having us tonight. I get super nervous, so I have to look at my paper even though I know these people's names. Okay, so as I call your name, please come up. Our first president I'd like to introduce is Angela Rodriguez Pizarzowitz from Goddard. The next one is Jackie Neep from Sellers. And then we have Teresa Quijano from Sandburg. We have Robin Merkley from Whitcomb High School. Maria McCarthy from Sutherland could not be here tonight, but we appreciate her. Roxanne Alzaga from Stanton. Stacy Tarzia from Colon. Corrine Rose from La Fetra. And Verna Johnson from Glendora High School. I just wanted to take a quick moment to express our thanks to Glendora Unified for letting us operate on your campuses and help support your school sites. Last year, our fundraising totals for dollars raised across all 9 schools was $265,877. And our volunteer hours were just over 19,000. That's what we've collected. Lots of times people don't write down how much they've done. But if we had to pay minimum wage for those hours, that would have cost the district $305,000. So our PTAs have helped support our school sites with over $569,000 worth of support. And we appreciate each and every one of you. And thank you for letting us operate on your school sites. Sure. We have a check showing how many hours and how that would have.
Yeah, right there. Outstanding job, ladies. That's incredible work. The next, I thought you were gonna wait, but are you gonna do it?
I just want to say something before the ladies leave, my PTA presidents. Thank you so much for your service to our community, but more importantly, to our teachers and students. I have worked alongside many of you, probably all of you, and I just, the love in which you give back to our community does not go unseen. Some of you are, you have kids in this school and you're helping out over here. Some of you don't have kids in school anymore and still, doing the work. So I know the work that goes into PTA, the amount of money that is raised, the amount of unpaid labor that goes into running a PTA, and even just as a parent to volunteer. It's such an important and crucial part of our district. And so I want to thank you for that work that you do on behalf of the parents that can't do it and who definitely appreciate you. And we may not be out there telling you and giving you hugs and thank you for all the things that you do on our sites. Thank you very, very much for all that you do if you don't hear it enough. Thank you.
I'd just like to add that it's often the things that the PTA is doing that the kids are most excited about. It's the different celebrations, it's the different ways that the teaching sort of culminates into something fun at the end, whatever the case might be, and gets kiddos really excited to be going to school and coming to school every day. So thanks for adding that extra special incentive for all of our kids to be happy and excited to go to school every day. Again, a lot of you I'm familiar with and have seen you up here every year for the last 6 years or even the last 10 years since I've been here, and thank you for the continued work and the new people that are coming through. You're really important to continue the legacy of the wonderful PTAs here in Glendora Unified. So sincerely, thank you all very much.
Okay. We'll move on to 3.7, which is public comment. Speakers may address the Board of Education on non-agenda and agenda items by filling out this little white card and coming up and speaking to us. I have one little white card in my hand. Mr. Gene Lopez, if you could come up and speak to the board, we would appreciate it.
Hello, and thank you for the opportunity to allow me to speak. My name is Gene Lopez. I'm the parent of two daughters in the school district. One has just recently graduated, and Carly is a senior, who is at a field hockey game this evening. So let's root on Glendora. Yay, Glendora. So I'm here again tonight as a member of the Community Committee on Ethnic Studies. And we're preparing to go into our second meeting of this school semester next Monday, October 21st. And I come to you really with my hat in my hand, and I have to say this: I fear there may be some Marxist remarks in the lessons that are being prepared. And I say that because there was just some vocabulary that we were made aware of in our last meeting that was pretty strong. And in the first draft that was delivered to the committee, there was some language about oppressor, and there was some language about victims, and there was words about class or class struggle and so on. And so I was a little concerned about that. And I'm going to plead to you, the trustees, to ask Dr. Prince, and Dr. Prince has a strong argument against revealing the curriculum, the draft curriculum that is being prepared. But I think we need to be exposed to it, and I think you need to be exposed to it so that we can be better prepared as this curriculum, as these lessons are being produced. I think we have to pay attention to what's being prepared, and that we need full access to the lessons that are currently being prepared. So even if it's just a summary of the draft or even the entire draft that's being prepared, I think we need to take a look at it so that the community and the community committee can have an argument or create arguments against why we believe the language that's being used or being created should be that language should be exposed so we can have a good, solid argument to not allow it to enter our curriculum. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Lopez. I have no other cards. I see no other speakers. I see a lot of cool students in the back. Good evening, guys and girls. So we're going to close the public comment section and thank the speakers. And we are going to move on to oral reports. The first oral report is 4.1, and I'm turning to Tracy Cornelius to give us a very quick school student board member report.
Thank you very much. Tonight we'll be reporting on Cullen, Stanton, and Sutherland Elementary and Sandburg Middle School and Glendora High School. Cullen Elementary School. Cullen hosted its first Cullen Community Friday, and we had a great turnout. The students all lined up on the north field, and the parents gathered on the north blacktop where they were led in the Pledge of Allegiance and the Cullen Condor Code of Conduct. Additionally, the students and parents were introduced to the new character trait of the month, responsibility. Our TK students have now started with their 1:30 dismissal time, and the teachers are able to provide more instruction in the second half of the day. While we are happy for more instruction time, this longer day is quite an adjustment for our littlest learners. Here at Cullen, we continue to work to support our students as they learn how to be the best, very best versions of themselves, both in the classroom and at home. Stanton Elementary. Stanton is looking forward to Donuts with Loved Ones on Friday. We are excited to mingle with families and get to know them on a more personal level. Our first graders are in the STEAM lab this week, focusing on engineering a build, obtaining, evaluating, and communicating information. Each person had to obtain the information from a picture card, then evaluate what order where it goes, then communicate it to their group in order to build a castle with their group. Fourth grade built models that represent push and pull forces in the lab today. They had an amazing time. Thank you, GEF. The Student Council is selling Halloween items this week as a fundraiser for the GHS scholarships. Sutherland Elementary. October has already been a busy month for Sutherland. In the past month, we have achieved 100% PTA membership, Masterpiece Morning, and held our first student assembly. A highlight of the month has been our Hispanic Heritage Month celebration. A mariachi band led by a former Sutherland Cougar, Michael Recio, came to perform for our school during students' lunchtime, and our kindergarten DLI Spanish class made their debut with a festive rendition of Cielito Lindo, accompanied by the band. For the rest of our month, we are gearing up for our largest fundraiser of the year, Move-a-thon, Family Movie Night, Red Ribbon Week, and our annual Halloween Parade. We are only able to do these great things with the support of our PTA and our families. We thank the Sutherland community for their dedication to our collective student achievement and success. Go Cougars! Sandburg Middle School. In recognition of Attendance Awareness Month, Sandburg Middle School launched the Attendance Matters campaign to emphasize the importance of consistent attendance. Each week, we gathered the names of all the students with perfect attendance, and one lucky winner was drawn to receive Spartan Spirit gear. This initiative fostered excitement among students and reinforced the importance of showing up every day. Fall sports. To celebrate our athletes and promote school spirit, we held a fall sports assembly highlighting our football teams, volleyball, and the debut performance of our Spartan cheer team. The cheer team wowed the crowd with a special performance and stunt sequence, making their first public showcase of the season. We were also honored to share a motivational Spartan Ignite message from local Los Angeles Dodger player Landon Knack, inspiring our students to pursue excellence in both academics and athletics. Kaiser Permanente Educational Theater. On October 3rd, our 8th graders participated in Kaiser Permanente's educational theater program. This special program focused on mental health and resilience, providing students with valuable insights and coping strategies for handling life's challenges. The program was well received by our students and staff, and it complemented our ongoing efforts to support student well-being. This year, Sandburg Middle School proudly participated in the Homecoming Parade, where students and our ASB advisor and the admin team walked the parade route while cheering with Spartan pride. Spartan Garden Class Field Trip. The class recently took a field trip to Tanaka Farms in Irvine, where students had the opportunity to engage with sustainable farming practices and learn about local agriculture. Afterward, they enjoyed a college-style lunch at the University of California, Irvine, where they were able to experience the campus environment and discuss college opportunities. The trip provided both educational and enriching experiences for our students. We look forward to continuing our programs and initiatives that enhance student learning and engagement at Sandburg Middle School. And Glendora High School. Glendora High School celebrated a successful and fun homecoming celebration. At the assembly, Caden Smith was crowned king and Faith Lamb was crowned queen at the game. The parade was great, getting to celebrate with the community. Finally, the dance was a blast with the crowd favorites donut, french fries, and silent disco, along with karaoke, a candy bar, and dancing. A fun night was had by all. On Monday, October 7th, GHS hosted the SoCal Trade Tour with many opportunities for our students to investigate trades and trade schools. The great part of the scheduling this year was students were able to access their fare at lunch, so any student who wanted to participate was given the opportunity. On Tuesday, October 15th, GHS will be hosting on-the-spot admissions for 12th grade students from 1 to 5 in the GHS gym. Students need to complete an abbreviated application but can apply to Azusa Pacific University, Grand Canyon, Hope International University, and the University of Laverne with no application fee and learn their admission status that day. On Thursday, October 17th, GHS will be celebrating breast cancer awareness with a pink out at school and at the home football game that evening. They also hosted a school day SAT for our seniors and will be hosting the PSAT NMSQT on Wednesday, October 16th as a qualifying exam for National Merit Scholarship opportunities. GHS ASB will be hosting the Super Smash Brothers tournament on Friday, October 18th in the GHS Event Center. Good luck to our competitors. And that's it.
Thank you for those comments. That'll move us to our next section of the agenda, which is comments from members of the Board of Education. I will start to my right tonight with Trustee Merkley.
Last week was kind of busy. I went to the National Honor Society induction. I don't know if you've been to that. It's kind of cool. They do the little knighting thing. Got a lot of people were there. It was really good. And then the STEAM labs, the ribbon cutting for the STEAM labs. What an amazing room. We are so lucky to have that in our district. Dr. Osborne, we're going to talk about Nichelle. We're going to talk about Nichelle from Glendora Community Coordinating Council Honor Youth Recognition Award.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was unable to attend.
I know. But Nichelle, she is it Najarro? We have a help. Well, Narajos. Okay. It was close. Anyway, she has done some amazing things. She started debate, and then she realized that if they started in middle school, that they would be better able to get better faster, I guess. And so she started a debate club. It's after school at Goddard, and they teach these kids how to debate, respectfully and everything. And then when they get to the high school, they're a jump ahead, and they're really good. And she's excited. She's a senior, and there are some juniors and sophomores that are already excited about it and committed. So it's not going to end when she moves on to the next level. Anyway, that's my report.
Thank you. Trustee Garcia?
Okay, I'll make it quick. We definitely had a busy week. Happy Hispanic Heritage Month. We're wrapping it up, but it's been so fun to see all the different ways that our sites are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. I have been able to attend some of them, and it just reminds me that what gets funded gets done. A few months ago, we approved to actually fund those type of celebrations at our schools, and it's important that if we want our schools to do certain things, our principals, that we provide the funds for them to be able to do that as well. I know that at the high school, the Latinos Unidos group funded some of those very exciting programming for the students. I didn't get to go on campus for that, but I got to see it on the good old Instagram, so that was fun. So thank you for not only to the district, but also to our principals for being intentional, to our PTAs who also help support those that type of programming on campus. I think it's important. Specifically when I went to the Goddard one and I saw the kids sitting down on the field and really enjoying the mariachi and getting all into it. And, it's just music, no matter what it is. It's just going to get you to this class feeling just a little bit better. So I appreciate those little breaks in the routine and also the celebrating of our cultures, the varying cultures that make up our district. So I appreciate that intentional celebrating. Homecoming parade was amazing. You already know that, but I did want to mention that this year, because it's really awkward to be on a parade and have you're just sitting there waving. Sometimes you get a wave back and sometimes you don't. I'm always waiting for a tomato to get thrown at me. I hope I don't give anyone any crazy ideas. But I decided to invite a student onto my car because I really wanted to find a way to celebrate one of our students. There's so many that need to be celebrated in that way, but I chose Samantha Sachs, who's at the high school, and she's doing gold this year because she's very, very busy competing in wrestling. And she wore her Letterman jacket, and I must have spent 10 minutes just looking at all the patches and having her explain to me what they were. That young lady is so decorated. She is a decorated athlete, and if you ever see her, if you go to her Instagram and see all the amazing things that she's doing, I encourage you to support her. Samantha, if you're watching, which you're probably not, I'm very proud of you. Thank you for the wonderful way that you represent Glendora as a whole, but especially Glendora High School. What else? STEAM Lab. I am so very proud of those STEAM labs. It's been many, many years in the making, a lot longer than I was here. So I thank the board members that were sitting here when those talks and that fundraising was taking place. I mean, of course, I participated with Glendora Education Foundation and was always involved in that way, but not in the actual dreaming up of that concept. And I'm so grateful to the people that came before me that had that vision and that kind of stayed with that dream and that vision to ensure that our students have those STEAM labs that they have today. Now at the elementary level, next year or December in the middle schools, it's just a beautiful gift to our community, to our students. A wonderful learning is going to be done. It's going to get done there. Not just learning, but a lot of fun and growing and just great things. Thank you to the Glendora Education Foundation. The Glendora Education Foundation, although it's an organization, it is funded by community members like you. And it's so important to continue to support the Glendora Education Foundation because it is because of these contributions that our community members, the time, the donations, all that stuff, that they're eagerly wanting to see something in our schools that serve our students. The Glendora Education Foundation is just that vessel in which we get that work done. They are having a family fall festival on Thursday in the Buzz Plaza. If you were looking for a way to, is it Wednesday? Scratch that. Wednesday, Family Fall Festival at the Buzz Plaza. And that should be a lot of fun. There'll be amazing baskets to raffle off. I know the board donated a pretty awesome basket, so whoever wins that one, it's a good one. And I think that's all I have. Looking forward to our citrus chat later this presentation, so happy to see you guys here. And to the students, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Trustee Lopez, you're next.
Oh, I didn't say it before, but a huge thank you to our PTA presidents. As a principal and the former principal of Glendora High School, that is such a support, and one of my PTA presidents right next to me over here, and Robin Merkley. So what a support that you provide to our sites and to our kids. And so that goes unmatched usually. And yes, thank you to the Tartans, right? We have Tartans in the house. Okay, we love having you guys here tonight. So that's all I have to say.
Very good. Ms. Reuter, you're next.
Thank you. It's hard to be at the end of the line because you're repeating yourself a little bit. I also want to wish everybody an end to the Happy Hispanic Heritage Month. And want to highlight one of the celebrations in particular that I went to, but I really did appreciate every single celebration that I went to and that I heard about, because every school chose a celebration that they felt best fit their student population. And so it was authors, it was musicians, it was bands, it was all sorts of different things. And I just am really excited to see that. But in particular, the celebration at Sutherland last week with their Mrs. Ochoa's dual immersion Spanish class singing. These are little kids. These are 5-year-old kids. And they were so confident as they were belting out that song with the full mariachi band next to them. And it's a real testament to Mrs. Ochoa and to all the students that within 2 months of them starting this program, how much fun and how confident they were in their Spanish abilities to be able to sing that song. So really very proud. It's been a lot of years and a lot of work for us to get that dual immersion program in place. And I hope that you all got to see videos of it because they were really impressed. Like your hard work pays off when you see these little kids in their cultural costumes and singing that way. And it really was a very special moment. Then as far as the STEAM labs are concerned, they really are amazing. They really are exceptional. And they're exceptional because of the building and the place that they are and all of the money from the Glendora Education Foundation that goes into the Legos and the different projects, but they're really super exceptional because of the teacher that we have in place for that program. Amy Hogan was our teacher of the year this year, or last year. This year, reigning queen of the teachers right now, her enthusiasm, and Mrs. Garcia reminded me of this. I too don't love being the Queen of England on the in the homecoming parade, and so I asked. I don't have any children at home anymore, so I asked Amy Hogan to ride with me as teacher of the year, and she's like, "Okay, but I'm not getting in that truck. I want to do something different." So that woman got me on a tricycle. And she and I rode on these awesome adult tricycles on the homecoming parade this year. And that's just sort of her enthusiasm and mindset that I want to try and tell you all about here. And I've talked to Dr. DeGrazia about this, and I'd like Mrs. Hogan to come and give a board presentation about the curriculum that she is developing and the hands-on experience. That stresses her out a little bit because she's got a lot on her plate right now, so I want to be considerate of her schedule and her timing. But the sooner the better, because the impact that she's making in these students' lives and the just ideas that she's even opening up to her colleagues, the other teachers, it's well beyond just building Legos. I'll tell you that much. So looking forward to hearing from Mrs. Hogan as soon as possible. And then the final thing that I wanted to talk about, and I'm hoping maybe Dr. DeGrazia will be able to tag on with me here maybe in his comments, is that safety is always of utmost importance to Glendora Unified School District, and coming up on the 17th later this week is the Great Shakeout. And so I'd like to hear a little bit about what the Great Shakeout looks like in Glendora Unified and what we do as far as training and preparedness is concerned. Those are all my comments for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a couple of quick things for me. The homecoming parade is always exciting for me, and I have grandchildren in the district, and this year they chose to bring a friend each. So I had Fallon and Miley Roy in my vehicle with me, and Jimmy and Juliana Clifford with me, and it was the best experience because I do like shaking. I like seeing all of our friends, but those 4 elementary students had so many friends on the parade route. I think all of our elementary children must have been on that route because their friends were just screaming at them while they were in the truck. It was a very positive experience, and those kids, they were just engaged in the parade. And I thought that from all levels, from TK up through our high school, the engagement of our children that were in the parade and the viewers that were watching was just, it was a beautiful Glendora hometown afternoon, I thought. Very pleasant, very kind, easy to get to, a joy to do. So I want to thank all of the volunteers that put that on. There's a lot of moving parts to the shortest parade in history, and it's something that we as Glendorans always appreciate. And it's funny how many alumni I see, kids that I knew that are now in their 40s and 50s and 30s and waving out there. It was incredible, very heartwarming. Another thing that I want our school district parents to know about is if you have nothing else going on a Saturday or Sunday, our fields, our campuses are just busy every Saturday from 8 in the morning till about 3 in the afternoon with our children and our school and our city interacting in their soccer program. So every Saturday morning, I spend a few hours at Stanton, and I spend a few hours at Cullen trying to catch all of the Clifford family games. But it's just like you're having coffee with your friends, because all the parents are there and the grandparents, the generational things that are happening at the side of these fields is phenomenal. And it's all because of the relationship between the school district and the city and the coordination. And it's just beautiful. We're sitting in the field looking at the mountains, the sun's coming up, and it's just everybody that you know, phenomenal thing to do. And then believe it or not, on Sundays, right now, our kids in school are playing fall baseball up at Goddard. And it's like little professional baseball happening all day long. So it's the same thing. You can have that starts at about 9 o'clock and goes through 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And all of our fields and our sites are being used. They're being managed well. And I'm very appreciative of not only the interaction and collaboration between our students, the families, and especially the grandparents now, for me, and the friends that we see there, but with the city. It's just a great coordination of the police department and the city staff and our city manager, Adam Raymond, and our city council. And I'm really pleased with the way that we've migrated towards using the benefit to our citizens and school districts, positive benefit. So that's something I wanted to mention. You guys already talked about the STEAM labs, phenomenal. The way that now we integrate science into everything that we do, not just science class, but it's integrated in technology, in all the other things, art, math, and I think that's really important. And there was a lot of fundraising and dedication that went into that, so thank you, Monica, for bringing that up. I just wanted our citizens to know that we get a ton of emails and correspondence during the periods of each meeting. We respond to all of them, and I'm truly appreciative for the public comments that we get. I take notes about what is brought to us, and certainly we'll meet with staff offline, and when staff updates us, they can respond if they want to about that. But I really appreciate the time that you spend to prepare for that. I have nothing further at this point, so if the board is done chatting about the week, I'll turn it over to the superintendent for his update.
All right, thank you, Mr. President, board members, distinguished guests. Today actually marks the first day of the second quarter of the school year. Time flies. Indeed, I want to thank all of our PTA leaders led by Stacy, their lead leader, and all of the volunteers in PTA for all the hours that they put in across the district, annually, weekly, daily, that make GUSD the special place that it is today. We've heard a lot about the STEAM labs. I will not go over that again, but they are an amazing place to be. We look forward to the middle school labs coming in the new year, 2025. Our Mandarin and Spanish after-school classes have begun at all elementary sites. We actually have waiting lists for the Spanish classes, so those are going really well. And for the second consecutive year, the U.S. Air Force Asset Education, or hangar trailer, will be set up at Glendora High School tomorrow for students to partake in simulations, activities, physical, mental, otherwise, all day tomorrow, including lunch. Fall Festival for the Glendora Education Foundation is this Wednesday, starting at 5. It will go to about 8 p.m. This Thursday, October 17th at exactly 10:17 is the California Great Shakeout, preparations and disaster preparedness. It offers us as a district to coordinate communication plans with each site, so we always practice that. Some will go full-fledged disaster drills, but all will be involved, all sites will be involved in some level of preparation and disaster drills. Some maybe not exactly at 10:17 due to their recess time, fluctuating slightly, but very, very close to that. We also have Tammy Fry, our safety and risk compliance officer, who assists with that day and has been providing materials to all of our sites to have a constructive, fruitful time for the shakeout. We welcome our Citrus College friends, Dr. Schultz, Dr. Rasmussen. This evening, we are very fortunate to have one of the elite community colleges in the state so close by that is such a wonderful partner. So I thank you ahead of the time because you're coming up soon. And we appreciate your patience this evening as well. Thank you both for being here.
Well, there you go. We'll transition that right into our next item. From that introduction for our very special guests, if you could step up to the dais there and give us your presentation on Citrus College Partnership and go from there. And if we have any questions, we'll hit those at the end.
Thank you. I guess I'll start. Good evening, members of the Board of Education, Superintendent DeGrazia, members of the executive leadership team, family, students, and friends. Greetings on behalf of the faculty and staff and the nearly 11,000 students at Citrus College this fall. We're really grateful for an opportunity to be with you and share a little bit about Citrus College and our partnership. And I'm Greg Schultz. I proudly serve as the Superintendent President at Citrus College.
And good evening, my educational colleagues. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Pat Rasmussen. I am the Area 4 Citrus College trustee that serves Glendora and parts of San Dimas. But I'm also a former member, two-time member of this board, and I served for a decade at Glendora High School as an English teacher. You probably know a lot about Citrus College, but we hope that we can give you a better picture of Citrus College and the community college system and what it looks like in 2024.
All right. Well, I'm now in my fourth year of service to the Citrus College Campus Committee as president, and during that time I've enjoyed the opportunity to get to know a number of you in service to our community, as well as members of the Chamber of Commerce, the business community. And so tonight we're going to share a little bit about each, the academic opportunities and the career opportunities that are present at Citrus College.
We're going to start with a little bit of history about Citrus College. We were founded in 1915 by Dr. Floyd S. Hayden, and for many years we were located in one building with Citrus Union High School. When the school and the college got too large for the existing building, we were relocated to a 17-acre site. That was 110 years ago. We're getting ready to celebrate that anniversary this March. In 1961, Citrus Union District disbanded and Citrus Junior College became an independent entity serving both Glendora and Azusa. Then 9 years later, in 1970, our college was formed as it currently exists. Today, we have 104 acres. We have 44 buildings, 7 outdoor athletic facilities, along with an incredible sustainable landscape. We serve almost 200,000 people living in the communities of Glendora, Bradbury, Duarte, Monrovia, Azusa, Claremont, as well as smaller portions of Covina, Irwindale, Pomona, San Dimas, and Laverne. However, people do not have to live near their community college, and so we have many students who don't even live in this general area. We are also home to the magnificent Hall Performing Arts Center, which serves as a performance hub for our college award-winning students, both visually and performing arts. And we also have a professional artist series that attracts worldwide class talent, such as Leanne Rimes, Los Lobos, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, just to name a few. And last weekend, we had the Righteous Brothers to a sellout crowd. For this upcoming season, we're going to welcome guests Henry Winkler and Vicki Lawrence, and we invite you to join us and see them. We've left a brochure for you.
All right, well, I'm going to share a little bit about our enrollment. We're really excited about it. Certainly, like so many schools, colleges, and universities, with the pandemic, we experienced an adjustment, a decline in our enrollment. And in the past 3 years, we've seen an incremental and consistent growth back, and we're really pleased about it. So to give you a sense, this fall we have more than 11,000 students enrolled, and to accomplish that, the majority of our classes are full-term, but we have a growing trend in terms of offering short-term classes. So that this could be, if our regular fall semester or spring semester is 16 weeks, we offer 8-week sessions Some students prefer that, especially when they're balancing family responsibilities and multiple jobs and things. So we have a whole series of late start classes, we call it, week 9, starting next week. And that flexibility has encouraged and welcomed even more students. To give you a sense of what type of growth back, I'll call it growth back, because we're still growing back towards our all-time high. We're not there yet, but if we look back just a year, this fall we're up a little bit more than 5% compared to fall a year ago at the same time. So we're really encouraged by that. Some of us, when we talk in community or others come up to me, they say, now, are your students back? They're definitely back, but it's interesting. Back in a big way compared to the pandemic, which was almost a mandated close for a period of time. But the majority of our students are back and choosing in-person classes, but we still have a very strong online and hybrid program. Hybrid, of course, is half online, half in person. And if you wonder why that may be, students have preferences, and what we've continued to do, we love having them back on our beautiful campus, and I like working on our campus, but we've learned from our student voices that a number of them, they may be younger students right out of high school that just have a preference for learning online. And if so, we have high quality distance education. Our professors go through and deliver a lot of training to their peers to assure high quality online learning. We also have many adult learners who are parents or grandparents and appreciate the convenience of learning online, making progress towards a goal or certificate degree, or just courses of interest, even as they're working 1, 2, sometimes more jobs, and prioritizing family responsibilities, which we understand and appreciate. So the point is, there's a whole menu of options. We try to meet every single learner where they're at. And we don't want to, because of the choices in modality for learning, unintentionally turn away a student. So, but again, the majority of the students are learning in person by choice, and we're really happy about it. Something about the value, there's a lot of talk always, especially nowadays, about college debt and minimizing the risk of taking on college debt, and we can help. And your students know it. We're so pleased to welcome so many students from Glendora onto Citrus College and beyond. To be more specific, every first-time college student right out of high school who attends full-time and goes through the FAFSA process, which is normal for all colleges and universities, is entitled to attend college tuition-free for 2 years. If someone goes full-time for 2 years, to give you a sense, and they're pretty sure about their major, they can complete in 2 years an associate's degree and transfer onto a 4-year college and university with 0 debt. Now, let's say someone said, I can't go full-time, or maybe they tried college a little bit, they needed to take a break and they're returning. While they may not be eligible for 2 years free, they can still enroll at the cost of $46 a unit. That is quite a value compared to most colleges and universities, and so many of our students take advantage of this opportunity. It's an investment the state of California makes. We call it the Promise Program. This is the 2 years free, and so we're proud to offer it to so many of your students. Let's see. Let's talk about something else that's exciting next.
Yes, I want to talk about one of our unique programs. It's Study Abroad. This is a program that ranges from 1 to 3 months, and by living and learning in a different culture, students can broaden their sights about education. They take college courses for college credit in a foreign country, and they have an opportunity to travel to various cities in the nearby area to see art galleries, museums, and historic landmarks. My granddaughter is currently studying in Florence, Italy. She's studying Italian and civilization, European civilization, and she texted me last week that she had gone to Rome and to see the Colosseum. So she's having a great experience there and learning as well. In the past few years, our students have gone around the world. They've gone to Paris, Madrid, Dublin, Rome, Costa Rica, Barcelona, Prague, and London. And the next few months, participants will be traveling to Paris this winter and Sevilla, Spain in the spring. So it's a wonderful program, and it's not as expensive as one would think, and there are scholarships available. So we encourage students to take that opportunity. Also, in recent years, one of our fastest growing areas on campus is our continuing education department. That's our non-credit and community education courses, which focus on personal and professional development and opportunities to help individuals sharpen their professional skills and learn new activities. If you're like Dr. Schultz and myself, you already have completed degrees, but you're still curious. You're a lifelong learner, and you want to experience new things, and so everyone's welcome at Citrus College. Some of our most popular continuing education courses are topics such as English as a second language, uncrewed aerial flight systems, aka drones, fitness, American Sign Language, and business. And there are many other courses as well.
All right. I want to mention something that we've really seen an increase in, sometimes referred to in the past as concurrent enrollment, more recently dual enrollment. And this is a wonderful opportunity for students in your district and families, and we're grateful to be a partner in this work. So as students are getting a high quality education in middle school, well, elementary, middle, and high school in Glendora Unified School District, in partnership, students have an opportunity to consider making progress in college while they're in high school. And so this is commonly referred to as dual enrollment. And so I've got some data up here that we're really excited about. During the past year, the year that ended June 30, 2024, there were a total of 10 concurrent and dual enrollment sections offered in partnership with Glendora Unified School District. And across these sections, we had a total of 109 students enrolled. For this fall semester, we're again offering a dual enrollment section in Glendora Unified School District, and we're thrilled that students are considering the opportunity to take advantage, again, while they're earning their high school diploma, but getting a head start in college. Some other data that you might find interesting. So as of this fall, again, we're just underway. We have 15 students in our student body who are current high school students with Glendora High School. In addition, 161 students at the college this fall, you gave them their diploma last spring. So many Glendora graduates continuing on to Citrus College, and of course in the future beyond. An additional 434 of our Citrus College students are Glendora graduates who graduated before last May. And in total, we're very proud of the fact that 939, that was as of yesterday, so it could be more next week with late start classes, but 939 current Citrus College students are residents of the city of Glendora. So big part of Citrus College.
I'd like to comment about our transfer opportunities. After our students earn their associate degree, they transfer to four-year colleges and university. The data from our Career and Transfer Center reveals that some of the most popular destinations for more than 850 Citrus College graduates were the California State University campuses. Most popular, 713 graduates transferred to CSU destinations such as Cal Poly Pomona, Cal State Fullerton, and Cal State LA. The second most popular destination for Citrus College graduates was the University of California system, and the top universities there were 153 graduates for UC Irvine, UCLA, and UC San Diego. We also have students transferring to private and out-of-state colleges. We don't have the data yet on how many have gone where. We're still compiling that. But historically, the colleges, private colleges and out-of-state destinations have been Arizona State University, Grand Canyon University, University of La Verne, and Azusa Pacific. Last year, our student trustee graduated and transferred with a full scholarship to Yale University. We're very proud of her.
Yes, briefly, I want to share a spotlight on a student, just one of many we've met from Glendora, but I'll take you back to a warm Saturday morning in June of 2022, commencement, and a part of my graduation remarks, we have institutional data, and so I acknowledged that the oldest graduate celebrating with us that day was 73 years young. And big round of applause for her, deservedly so. And I acknowledged that, as I understood it, our youngest graduate was a graduate who was 18 years old, college graduate at Citrus College. So after the ceremony, I go on the family and am getting to take pictures with many families and students along with our faculty and staff. And a young student comes up to me and says, Dr. Schultz, I need to correct something you said in your speech. I said, oh, please. And he said, I'm the youngest graduate. I'm 17. I said, forgive me. So we did some follow-up after that day to make it right, but here's what I want you to know. He said, yeah, I'm 17. In fact, 3 weeks ago, I graduated from Glendora High School. I earned my high school diploma. Today, I've got my associate's degree, and I've been admitted to UCLA for the fall. So, at 17. So, we're very proud of that student, very proud of all of our students, but it's opportunities like that that are across our campus.
So as you can see, even if you don't have a college student, Citrus College is important to all of us. If you have received any assistance from a first responder or a nurse, they probably were trained at Citrus College. Your car was probably serviced by a technician who was trained in our automotive program. And we all look marvelous because on every salon in Glendora, there's at least one person who has studied cosmetology.
Excellent. This last slide we have for you shows a picture of our allied health, our nursing students in action. We also included some economic data that we were part of a study of throughout Los Angeles County of the California community colleges. And what the study found was that there's an extraordinary amount of spending and kind of economic development, not only in terms of, we're both big employers in the region, certainly, but also the spending power that the families and the students have who are part of our educational systems. I'll just highlight one example. There's a couple up there, but one of the things that the study found was that for every dollar of public funds invested in Citrus College, taxpayers return a return on investment of about $1.40. So that has to do with, again, we employ folks. They are certainly spend in the local economy and businesses. But from our current students, their families, the folks who are employees of our college and in this region, right? Our schools really not only provide a noble and important service as part of our society, but in another way, they're also reinvesting in our local economies, which is good. So with that, we're really grateful for this opportunity. And if you had any questions or comments that you wanted to share with us, we know you have a busy meeting, but we'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have for us.
That was an outstanding presentation. Thank you. And Dr. Pat, thank you for your service to our community. We'll talk about that in a minute, but we really appreciate everything you've done at every level.
Thank you.
Are there any questions from the board?
I have. Go ahead.
Just a couple of comments. Well, first a question. What is the percentage of students who finish in 2 years and then go on? And do you have that? Sorry.
Boy, that's a good question. For those who have that goal, in 2 years, I think we measured that it was close to about 70%. Now, some of the students are like me. I didn't attend Citrus College. I didn't live near Glendora, but I lived in the city of Orange. I attended Fullerton College, a community college. And I'd like to think I turned out okay, but I changed my major 4 times. I was a music major. Thought, I don't know, communications, undeclared accounting. It clicked. But I was at Fullerton College 3.5 years. So I graduated with my bachelor's degree at age 23. But I wouldn't be one of those in the 70%. But that number has increased because I think of the partnerships. Your students learn a lot about college before it's time for college. Credit to you. And we work as partners. And also, we're very intentional about working with each student to develop an individual education plan. So they're thinking about, what major would I like? And we have introductory classes that expose students to a variety of majors so they make an informed decision and hopefully shortening time to completion.
Okay, thank you. I am a community college graduate as well. Eastfield College of Mesquite, Texas. And I did finish in 2 years. I do summer school. And then I went on to East Texas and Cal Poly. Went to grad school. So I just feel that community colleges are so valuable, and I just appreciate all that you do. And I've been to plays at the Haw Performing Arts Center. It's amazing. I am looking forward. Every year we give my sisters-in-law dinner and a play. And so it was fun to take them there, and we will be doing that again, I'm sure. And it's such a beautiful campus. I love going on there and just walking around. It's really gorgeous. So thank you very much.
And we do have a lot of walkers. They come in the community and they walk the campus. It's safe, it's flat.
I don't have any questions, but what I do have is some public praise for you. My daughter this summer took her first class at Citrus. She's a senior at the high school this year. She took her first class and she had a lot of questions. And she's my very independent child. And, she's like, I got this. I'm like, okay. And she spoke to someone in your enrollment department, I'm assuming, who literally held her hand the entire way. FaceTimed her so she could create an account, so she would be ready to go for registration day, and walked her through every step of the way. And I just have to give you praise for that, because it made that process just a very scary process for her, just very nice and easy. And just, I keep telling her, I'm like, you got to tell your friends, because a lot of them are just like, oh, I don't know, Citrus College. And so she took the class online. She didn't go in person, but she really, really enjoyed it, so much so that she signed up for her second class, which starts, I believe, next week. So, she's taking those classes at the same time online that she's, doing a full load at the high school. It's doable, but she's also a little bit of a high achiever. But I do feel that the way that your teachers handle these online classes have made it possible for her to not only take this class and learn, but also to succeed in the class. So whatever you're doing there, it's working, it's great, and thank you for also that environment that you create, that love for learning for those lifetime learners. I feel it when I walk on your campus. I see it when I'm following all the multiple Instagrams you guys have, which, just the love of citrus. It's definitely the citrus. I feel that. I do feel ownership that your students have of their campus. I see it, and even though I've never attended Citrus, I just feel how much they love their school. Like Robin, I too am a community college student. I was a late bloomer for college, and I was a mom before, and then I went back to school, and I went to what is it called? Pierce College in the San Fernando Valley. And they had a PACE program, which was for working parents, and for working adults, not parents, but it was like an 8-week courses, and it was super high intense, and it was like, get out of here in 2 years. And it was wonderful for me. It worked out great, and then I transferred to Cal State LA. So I mentioned that because I think it's so important for our young students to understand that pathway to success looks so different, and there's so many ways to get to that success, and that we have an important and an amazing resource in Citrus for them. Today, we have all these seniors who are, my daughter's in the process of applying to college, and it's so stressful for them, right? They just want to, a lot of times it's about the prestige, and they want to get into these top universities, but that may not be the right fit for them. And the fact that we have such an amazing resource here in Glendora, I keep telling my daughter, honestly, I'm like, I'm getting to that point where I'm really scared of her leaving. So I'm like, you sure you want to go to Citrus? So I'm trying, but she's not going to go. She wants to get out of here as soon as possible. So thank you again for that environment that you create that gets students excited about continuing their educational journey. Thank you.
I have some comments too about Citrus College, because, we went through the whole phase, when I was the principal there, and, college going culture, you gotta go to a 4-year university and things like that, but, was never really a belief for me, because, students do take different paths when they leave Glendora High School, and Citrus is a great option, and countless stories of students who went to Citrus College because they just weren't ready. They weren't, and they could have had a great GPA, or they could have had a lower GPA, whatever the story was, it didn't matter. They went to Citrus College, they could find themselves, they could transfer to a 4-year university. And, I always told kids, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. But the community college, especially Citrus College, is a great option for our students. And I hope our Tartans keep that in mind back there when you're going to school, that it's a good place to go, and you can transfer anywhere. So many students transfer, and they go to UCLA, and they get their degree from UCLA and many of the other UCs. So thank you for all the work. Thank you for the dual enrollment. That's an important piece to our kids, and that will, I'm sure, continue to grow. And it's a good option for our students, and you guys provide a fabulous service for the students in our community.
I had one question and one comment. The dual enrollment, and this is for anybody, if our Glendora High School students choose to participate in any of those sections of dual enrollment classes, is there any cost to them as far as the citrus classes are concerned? That's what I thought. I just for the benefit of
no cost.
no cost whatsoever. Okay, great. And then I want to also commend you on the expansion of your study abroad program. I have some friends whose daughter went to Dublin with you and had an exceptional experience. I did a semester in Sevilla when I was in college, and it is that quintessential place where you think you're like what you think Europe looks like and where you want to be as like a college student. This is it. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful, wonderful city, centrally located. I had wonderful experiences with their university students there as intercambio partners, et cetera. And I just think that a study abroad program is such a valuable life experience for students. So to be able to bring that at the community college level, I think really just goes to show, Dr. DeGrazia said it at the beginning when he introduced you, how elite of a program that you are running there to be able to offer all the variety of coursework and programs and experiences for our students. So I thank you for everything you do for our kids and students that are graduating from Glendora and otherwise. Thank you. I appreciate your presentation tonight.
Yes, go right
Sir,
ahead. I
would it
can.
be okay if we really appreciate this feedback, and I was going to share just a couple things in closing with you, if I could. Is gratitude for sharing with us the technical minds that come from the district, the talented artists, athletes. Something we didn't spend a lot of time on tonight, but we're very proud of, is we have a number of programs where students can come right out of high school or as an adult, get high quality training, go right into the workforce, and command within a few years $100,000 or more in income in very important skilled workforce jobs. We have a partnership with Caterpillar, CAT. We train, not every college has this. We have a high quality training program for diesel, heavy, medium equipment, mechanics that are very hard to find. That's why they make a lot of money. If you own a Toyota or Lexus, there's a very good chance your car has been serviced or been supervised by a service manager who was trained at Citrus College. We talked about nursing and health, and we are so pleased to welcome so many of the talented musicians and artists from Glendora who get access to world-class programs and facilities at Citrus College. We have a recording studio. If you didn't know that, artists come to record at that studio, but our students get to do their work in there. And then finally, many of our girls and boys, student athletes in high school, find that we have 16 sports and competition at Citrus College. We're the Fighting Owls. So thank you for also sending us some of the best women and men's student athletes in the region who take their talents to Citrus College and beyond. All right, John, you want to?
Good, yeah. Just one final thing. Dr. Rasmussen, this is your final term as trustee to the Glendora and San Dimas area, and in recognition of the 25 years of service combined to that trustee area and the Glendora Unified School District, plus your 10 as a teacher at Glendora High School, that's really over 35 years. Yeah, over 35 years of service. We are going to be missing a tremendous cornerstone to the community, but we appreciate your service. I mean, as a small token of that, and in recognition of those years of service to the Glendora community as a whole, we have some flowers and a certificate for you. And you dressed marvelously this evening. It matches perfectly the color coordination of the flowers. So, let's have a full board. Let's have a full board. Great. I'll go to the non-tall side.
Right, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you. Thank you. Keep up the great work in Glendora.
Thank you for that. That was a nice presentation. It took a long time, but I think it was worth it. I too, no, it's just the truth. I mean, it took a lot of our time, but I too
I
was
think
a,
it was mostly us chatting.
yeah, I too graduated from what we affectionately called the University of Colorado at Hill. If you could figure that's Pasadena City College, because it's at the corner of Colorado and Hill.
Makes sense.
So, and the reason, yeah, see, that's what we called it affectionately, because the job that I had paid 2.5% more for an AA degree. So that was the quick ticket to get that first, and it was the beginning of an incredible academic career, and the things that I learned from my teachers there were just invaluable. So, great educational institutions along that 210 corridor, let me tell you. Thank you. All right, so then we go to item 5.2, which is the federal program monitoring, another fine presentation by our own Dr. Sarah Najarro.
No pressure, Sarah.
I know, I have to be riveting and I'm tired. It's almost bedtime.
No, it is bedtime.
It is bedtime. All right, well,
Not
y'all know I can
almost.
speak fast, so don't worry, I'll get you. All right. Ready? Closer? I don't need a microphone.
Are you gonna start with the special thanks or end with the special thanks?
Both.
Okay.
All right, first of all, Federal Program Monitoring Review, otherwise known as FPM, which became some initials that were very daunting when it first came down. So there were a lot of people, although I am presenting, there are a lot of people that had their hands in this. So I want to make sure that before I start, I really do honor the hard work and contributions of all the people that helped with this review. So in our business department, Araceli Medina and Michelle Reyes. In personnel, Anna Ospavova and Raquel Ledesma. In ed services, Carrie Brumfield, Christy Espino, Brian Murray, and Josie Wilson. At the sites, the principals of the sites reviewed were Marie Purcell and Nicole Cook, Eric Bonrot, and Marlene Gomez. So there were so many hands in this that there is absolutely no way that I could have done this all by myself. So I want to make sure that everybody is acknowledged. So let me talk a little bit about FPM. What is it? What is Federal Program Monitoring Review? Well, the process of the review is to ensure that districts are meeting policy, planning, and use of funds for federal programs. So there's two types of reviews. There's an on-site review and an online review. And that has a few different parts. The online review is the submission of documents to the CMT, which is a platform from the CDE. And then on-site review would have observations and interviews. And you would think that an on-site review is actually harder. It is a little bit with logistics. But an online review, which we had, was harder because you don't have that opportunity to interact in person with the people that are reviewing the documents. So you really have to make sure your documents are telling your story because you don't have the ability to verbally really share what those documents. So a piece of paper really has to be representative of what they're asking for. And basically, we have what they call review instruments. For every area that's reviewed, there's an instrument that you must follow that corresponds with federal and state law regulations and or judicial decisions, and then that lists all the legal citations and the evidence that you need to produce. So interestingly enough, from our process, when I was inquiring about FPM in Glendora, we had not been reviewed for over 20 years prior to this year's review, which is huge because as you'll see in a slide later, really the reviews should be every couple years so that doesn't feel so daunting and you already have a lot of things in place. So when we first found out we were being reviewed and then when I realized what we were up against, it was a little bit nerve-wracking, even for me. So the review period is where the reviewers access and provide feedback to the LEA, for all the evidence that we submit to CMT. So during this review time, there's back and forth until the day that the official review opens. So I'll share with that in a minute. And then you have 60 days to fix your findings when you're done. So that's the period that we're in right now. So, like I said, this is just a kind of a visual of how reviews are supposed to be. So on the right side of that page, although it's very small print, you'll see that there's different cohorts. We are part of cohort A. So the bottom left of the chart on the right is cohort A. And you'll see some of the other districts that are part of that. And so basically cycles. So for example, in 21-22, if things had been, 22-23, we could have had an on-site review, but we were not selected for that. Every other year, you have the opportunity to be selected. We just were, I guess, gladly passed over for many, many years. So we had our on-line review. So 2 years from now, we could have an on-site review if chosen or selected. So basically, the next two slides show that there's 21 total areas that FPM can review. So you'll see the ones that are highlighted are the ones that we were chosen in. And you have no idea when this is going to, what you're going to be reviewed in when it happens. So compensatory education, which everything has initials, referred to. CE, that really encompasses all of Title I. Then you could have Title II, which is professional development monies, PE, federal stimulus monies, and it goes on and on. Title III, Title IV, and then you'll see on the next page, many different areas. Homeless education, uniform complaint policies, early education, graduation rates, civil rights reviews. So there's many different areas that you could be chosen for review in. And there's no limit. They don't say, oh, it's only 5 areas or it's only 6 areas. It's just what you're selected for. So here's our process of the review. So the timeline, late April, one beautiful Saturday morning, we got the email that we were selected for a review. And I'd been waiting and waiting to see if it was going to happen. And then I had a colleague said, did you check your email? I'm like, it's only 8 o'clock. And then we found out that we were selected. But at that point, the only requirement in April is you assign someone to be your lead reviewer. Thank you, Dominic. And I was assigned to that duty. Then, not until late June do we find out what areas we're being reviewed for and what dates. So late June, we found out that we were being reviewed in compensatory education, which is Title I, and that was for the district, for Stanton, and for Sandburg. We had EL, which is Title III, District, Stanton, and Sandburg. SSAE, which is Title IV, and ELOP, or Expanded Learning Programs, and CTE, which was for the district and Glendora High School. Then we found out that our official review, was going to be the week of September 23rd through the 26th. Then, in August, we also found out in June that there's going to be a 5-day, week-long training for this. And that was, again, for someone who had not done FPM, I was like, wow, that's a lot of training. That's a lot of days. Well, definitely needed, and I can explain why in a minute. But during that training, now this is the first week of August, so we have training, but there's also a few other things going on, like, getting ready for the beginning of school, right? And professional development and all other things, getting our students ready in all of our classes. And so I'm going through this, and I find out that you're supposed to have all your items submitted 30 days in advance of your review, which, think about it, if our review is September 23rd, that meant at that point I had almost maybe 3 weeks to get all of our items in, which was very, very overwhelming at the time. And it takes a lot to overwhelm me, so you can imagine that. So we began, and I met with our lead reviewer from the state, and I said, I don't know if we can get this done on time. What happens if we don't have it 30 days in advance? And he said that as long as we have everything in by the 23rd, which then felt a little bit better, we were okay. The difference is the earlier you have it in, you can go back and forth with your reviewer. So luckily, I had that team of people that just stepped on it and was able to really help get everything that we needed. I was emailing, we set up a Title I crate, which is where we collected all of our items, and people just worked really hard alongside me to get all of our documents in. Then, mid-September, so about a week before, meanwhile, I did get everything, my goal date was August 31st. We had almost everything in by then with a few exceptional items. So we were a little past the 30 days. Once I had everything in, now I'm waiting for the reviewers to review, and we find out mid-September that EL, or Title III, was going to stay in pre-review, and they were only going to give us guidance, which was nice. I wish I had known that, a month before, but now we're ready for anything when it comes to EL. So what I mean by review is, so we have those 5 areas, and with those areas, there's subgroups. So for example, Title I, or compensatory education, had 21 different areas that they were looking at. So I'll show you the tool in a minute, but it was 21 different things, and which meant there was 52 items that they were asking for as evidence. So when you added up all of those pieces of evidence that we had to collect, it was 177 pieces of evidence, but each one of those could have multiple examples to show. So now that seems a little daunting. There are some school districts now, I know, that they are collecting over 400 pieces of evidence. And I should say this was for the 23-24 school year. So because our review was so early in the year, it was everything from last year, but we were also able to submit things for this year to show compliance, even though the year had just started. If our review was later in the year, it would have all been for this current school year. Just depends on when your official review is. So, I don't know if I can, I don't know how to click on there. Can you click on the CE? So these are, it's a sample of one of the instruments. So if you scroll up there, you'll see this is going to go 1 to 21. This is just one sample of one of the areas. And so this shows all of the legal requirements that you have to do for Title I. A, B, so it might be 21, and then A, B, C, D, and so forth. And you have to submit evidence for each one of those pieces. So it is very cumbersome. And then, so the training, which I actually was really thankful for, went basically item by item under each one of those areas to talk about what does it look like in real life in the school district, and what samples of evidence could you produce. And some things, like I said, it's harder to produce a piece of paper than it is to explain what you do. So we had to work through that. Thank you so much. Could you go back? Okay, so those there for your reference are the different tools that we had to follow. These next 2 slides just show some samples of the common findings of the previous year's review. So I did have some time where I spent with the State and Federal Programs Department at LACO to go over some of the past findings, so that hopefully when I was submitting, we were able to overcome some of those, or if we had findings in that area, to know that we were in company of other schools or districts that had similar issues, and that this is common across the state. So that's just to put it in perspective. Some of the common findings in the year before in compensatory ed, or Title I, was allowable use of funds and time and effort logs. In EL, some of it, and expanded learning programs, it was supplementing, not supplanting, so it was how monies were spent. In EL, common findings have to do with how EL instruction is being delivered. And then CTE, one of the common findings was coherent sequencing of courses. So I found this to be very interesting because it really puts in perspective our findings and what happened here in Glendora. So let me share a little bit about the pre-review process. So in the pre-review process, like I said, we uploaded documents and then we got feedback. And during that time, really had to work with the reviewers and develop a good relationship. So I wanted to put that in there because you'll see at the end a lot of successes, but it took a lot of work to get there. So for example, when I have the numbers next to the names, that's if you would go back to the tool, the area on the tool that we had to comply with. So for example, CE, or compulsory ed, number 1 was about a parent engagement plan. Number 2 was about how parents were notified of certain things that are happening at Title I schools. 5 in the area of Title I was about forming of school site councils and having documentation of all the ballots. So saving all of the ballots, the nominations for making sure that teachers were nominating teachers, parents were nominating and voting on parents, and staff was nominating and voting on staff. So sometimes we would submit something in those areas and we would get feedback that this doesn't suffice or you need to add this, like you had it, but it wasn't really showing it in the right way. So there was a lot of back and forth through the first 3 weeks of September. And so those areas, 1, 2, 5, 9, 10, 12, 15 in CE and so forth, were some of the examples of during the pre-review where I actually really appreciated the response and the reflection of our reviewer, because it made us really hone in on what we needed to do and made our processes better. For example, some other things that we had to fix throughout the time was in ELOP, we had to look at some of our staffing qualifications and making sure that our spreadsheet showed what we wanted to show. For EL, we had to show some information about our ELs being included in our school site plan, so we had to do a little bit of revision in that area. We had to make sure that all of our students that are EL and special education had notations in their IEPs, so we were able to fix those and make sure that that was happening. And then, so there was definitely back and forth, but that, to me, that was the best part of the process. Well, maybe the end, but that learning process was really a good piece. So then, now we get to the end, the success part. So after all of that, we end up, after corrections and revisions during pre-review, for compulsory ed or Title I, we had no findings. For SSIAI, which was Title IV, we did not have any findings. For expanded learnings or ELOP, we did not have any findings. So that was really exciting. I went into this with, and I put little grades at the bottom, only because I kept saying, I'm an A student, this is really hard for me because I don't think we're gonna get there because we hadn't been reviewed in so long and I didn't know how we were gonna be able to show everything. So this was really exciting when it comes to the end. And I have 141 and 36 because, if remember I had that number of 177. 141 is what actually stayed in the final review and the 36 is EL, all the EL pieces that stayed in pre-review. So we did have some reviews in CTE, and those are 4 areas that we have 60 days to correct, and a couple of them we're already correcting, so that's great. We have till November 25th to submit those. One was some coding, pending area 2 was some coding in our general ledger that we just had to change some goal codes on, and we have already done that and we'll be resubmitting that one. Number 7 in CTE were some of our course outlines needed some revision and to make sure that the model curriculum standards were showing alignment. In CTE 8, it was some of our course sequencing and scheduling. We have some double rostered courses, and that it's very difficult at the high school to do that. So we have a plan for over the next 3 years that we've submitted. We're waiting to see if that suffices of how to adjust and change that, because you can't just all of a sudden change classes at the high school in October. So how we're going to do that over time. And CTE area 11 had 2 areas. One had to do with making sure that our CTE stakeholder committee that we've had for very many years had board approval, and that during that time there was some additional data that needed to be shared with that committee. So those were our 4 findings, all findings that we were able to correct within 60 days and resubmit. So we're very excited about that. I think that's what I was supposed to say on that slide. So really, after a successful federal program monitoring review, the overall feeling is one of immense relief and as well as accomplishment, and also knowing that there's an amazing team of people in our district that are willing to step up and always help out and making sure that they are able to show what we do in a positive light. The process was definitely grueling, required detailed, meticulous attention to every aspect of compliance and program operations. It demanded hard work and coordination and a deep dive into how we run our programs. But the end result brought a lot of pride and validation. The review helped highlight areas for improvement, definitely in the area of EL, different things that we can do so that when we have our on-site review, if we're selected in 2 years for that area, we we wouldn't have any findings because we can really look at those over the next 2 years. Really giving us actionable insights to refine, enhance the way we do things. And there's a sense of optimism knowing that the improvements that have been made and will be made will ultimately benefit the students, staff, and contribute to the long-term success of our district. So it's just really important that you know that we went through that process, that we have that process. Many of our surrounding districts are going through that process right now. As much as those 30 days in August were really tough and time-consuming, I actually am really glad it's done and over with for this year versus having it hang over till, April, March or April when everything else is going on. So just want to thank the support from everybody here. Eric Bondurant did so much work with CTE, so that's another reason why he's here tonight. I want to thank him, and I'm available to answer any questions you have about the review. Did I keep you up?
Sarah,
right.
you did a great job as usual. Thank you. Is there anybody else on your team that we need to hear from? Everybody good?
Nope.
All right. Any questions or comments from the Board of Trustees?
I do. I have 8 questions. I'm just kidding.
Okay. I got you. Ready?
I'm kidding. Thank you for your enthusiasm. I think I've complimented you before on the just your level of presentation, and I truly, truly do appreciate it. I think Dr. DeGrazia did a great job putting you as lead. You are the woman for the job, so thank you. This is a lot of work, and I am sorry that you had to go through all this, but I'm also grateful that you did have to go through this because, like you said, it's a learning opportunity. And I will go through all those things to see what exactly were the things that we were needing to work on. You mentioned some of them, but I'd like to take a look.
If you have, you can just click on the live link and whatever number it refers to, you can look at the tool and you'll see it. And
Yeah, I'll definitely do that, over coffee when bright-eyed. So thank you for all the work that you and your team put into this, and I think it's a passing grade. I think more than a passing grade. That's awesome. Thank you.
I think that I thank you very much for this presentation. It is clear to me that you know every tool, every sub-tool, subset, you know the whole thing. And I really do appreciate that. That is a lot of work, and I know you had a lot of support from your team here. Accountability is really important. These reviews are really important so that, our students and their families and can feel like they are going to a wonderful institution, a wonderful school district. So I am sorry for the amount of time that they gave you to do that work, but the work is really important, and it sounds like you had a great team supporting you, and I thank you for the thorough presentation that we can follow up on. But I'll echo Mrs. Garcia, you were 100% the person for the job. Thank you very much.
Anything else? No, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You can have the rest of the night off. All right, outstanding information so far. That moves us to 6.1, which is a resolution to recognize October 23rd through 31 as Red Ribbon Week, as presented. Who would like to read this resolution? Paul, you want to read it? Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say me.
Elizabeth beat you to the draw. Go ahead.
All right, whoa, that is small.
You can zoom in.
I have,
Zoom in.
just zoom it up if you need.
Okay, whereas the annual Red Ribbon celebration will be observed across America during Red Ribbon Week, October 23rd through 31st, 2024, the mission of the Red Ribbon Campaign is to present a unified and visible commitment towards the creation of a drug-free America. Whereas the National Family Partnership organized the first nationwide Red Ribbon Campaign, NFP, provides drug awareness by sponsoring the annual National Red Ribbon Celebration. Since its beginning in 1985, the Red Ribbon has touched the lives of millions of people around the world. In response to the murder of DEA agent Enrique Camarena, angered parents and youth and communities across the country began wearing red ribbons as a symbol of their commitment to raise awareness of the killing and destruction caused by drugs in America. Whereas National Family Partnership is the sponsor of the National Red Ribbon Week celebration, they are helping citizens across the country come together to keep children, families, and communities safe, healthy, and drug-free through parent training, networking, and sponsoring the National Red Ribbon Campaign. A theme unifies each year's campaign and helps broadcast one message, creating a tipping point to change behavior. The red ribbon theme for 2024 is Life as a Movie, Film Drug-Free. Whereas parents, youth, government, business, law enforcement, schools, religious institutions, service organizations, social services, health services, media, and the general public will demonstrate their commitment to drug-free communities by wearing and displaying red ribbons during the week-long celebration. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Glendora Unified School District hereby recognizes the week of October 23rd through 31st, 2024 as Red Ribbon Week and pledges its support to an educational environment that demonstrates a commitment to healthy alcohol and drug-free lifestyles. Be it further resolved that the Glendora Unified School District encourages all its students and employees to contribute to a drug and alcohol abuse-free society through active participation in drug prevention education programs and activities.
Thank you very much. So, may I have a motion to adopt the resolution as read? We have a motion. Is there a second? Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
No opposition. That passes 5-0. The next item, 6.2, is approval of the CalShape Award plumbing contract to Pro Craft Construction as presented. Dr. DeGrazia.
Yes, Ms. Balzac.
Okay, thank you, Dr. DeGracia. So this is one of This is one of our external grants through the California Energy Commission. So on September 12, 2024, the district invited contractors to submit sealed bids for the CalShape Plumbing Project, which focuses on replacing non-compliant plumbing fixtures such as faucets, urinals, toilets. This on various school sites, and that is in relation with the CalShape program. This project is supported by a grant awarded by the California Energy Commission, and out of the 5 bids that we received, ProCraft Construction was identified as the lowest responsive bidder. The impact of this project is not to exceed $449,420.75, and again, that's funded by the CalShape Plumbing Grant Agreement 22R4 PA 1011. Thank you.
Thank you for that outstanding presentation. Mickey, we have a motion for approval.
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there a second? Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, it passes unanimously again. That moves us to item 7, one of my favorite times of the night, the consent item, where items 8.1 through items 10.2 will be approved by one vote unless somebody pulls an item. Is there anybody wants to pull an item? So there's about $8.5 million worth of things we're gonna approve. Can I have a motion? There's a motion and a second there somewhere. There's a motion from Garcia and a second from Merkley. Any further discussion on the consent? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Okay, the consent item passes. That moves us down to item number 11.1, which is adjournment. It's 8:37. Unless somebody disagrees, we will adjourn our meeting. Thank you.
Thank you for staying.